Okay, so you already know what a color geek I am. And essentially, back in August, September of 2015, I completely redid my website. And as usual, color played an incredibly important role in my design choices because, in the end, I wanted people to feel a certain way when they visited my website. And so that's also reflected in the colors that I chose. So, as with my old website, I decided to stick with this sort of light, warm green color because, for me especially, it gives off a feeling of calm energy. So, it's energetic, but it's also kind of soothing and calm. It's also light enough that you can comfortably put dark text over it. So that's also another huge consideration, not just the colors that I'm choosing, but can the text be read over it? So for any website or design project, you always want to have dark text on a light background or light text on a dark background, and make sure that there's enough contrast so that people can very easily read whatever it is. So you see in my menu here, I went with my sort of handwritten looking logo, reflecting my roots as a painter, as someone that's very hands-on. And in this particular website, I wanted to focus not just Kristen, the college professor, which is what my old website always focused on, but my three areas that I concentrate on: artist, educator, and author. So you see up the top here, I have this sort of ginger, warm red, orangey color up the top here. So that is to project a little zip of energy, creativity. You also see it reflected in the color choices for my categories here, as well as in my main navigation area. Up the top here, you see my secondary menu, and because I used this red, I have light text on a dark background, and this just for about and contact. And then you may have noticed I've got this little slider that's continually going, and this is my first slide, and this is a picture from my class, Media, Art, and Social Activism. We did a comedy improv event with a comedian. She came in and spoke with the class. So this was one of the exercises that they were doing. They had to mirror each other, and they looked really happy, and they were really happy. And I thought this is a great picture of students. And, you know, one thing that I really focus on now more than I ever did are my online courses, not just my university courses. So I included this image in my slider, and you'll see that I tinted it blue. I could have just kept it the regular colors, but the problem, especially if you're using the Divi theme, you have all these options to put text over imagery, and most people get that wrong, meaning they put text over a very busy background and it becomes really hard to read. Now, I'm not 100% happy with this. I still think it could maybe be a little bit easier to read, but I did, adjust the text size. And anyway, so I went with a very standard dark blue, which is a color that makes you feel at ease. It makes you feel a sense of that, especially if someone's wearing blue, that they're loyal, they're accountable, they know what they're talking about. It's, as you might remember, it's the best color to wear to a job interview. So when people land on my page, especially for the first time, I want them to feel immediately like, okay, this is a place I can go and I can trust, the information that I'm being given. It's a reliable place, etc. So you'll also see, if you look in here, I kind of went back in and darkened up areas in Photoshop with my little burn tool, just to make it so you can read this light text on the dark background a little bit more. And then I superimposed a picture of myself teaching on a completely different day in a completely different year, but I'm wearing red, which then ties back in with these warm colors up the top here. So I chose the little bits of red, little bits of orange to inject a bit of energy, excitement, and creativity. And when you put all these colors together, my goal was to get people, when they landed on my website, that they, boom, immediately were struck by the colors, like, oh, this is a breath of fresh air. This is, I feel invigorated. I feel rejuvenated. I don't know. For me, anyway, this is how I feel when I look at my own website. I don't know what other people feel. I'm going to let the slider keep going here. And then you'll see I use my slider just to talk about recent projects, etc. But again, because I have an image on top of an image, there was no reason to have this background image be as busy as the main image, because then they would be competing with each other. So I went with my main image, which is the cover of a children's book I did over the summer, illustrated. And then for this, I just took another illustration, and I know you can barely see it, but it wasn't important because it's the background. The background has to be in the background. So I just tinted it green, made it very, very dark, and then hopefully this text is fairly easy enough to read over that light text on a dark background. You'll notice that even with my buttons, I am also choosing these oranges, and even affects the images that I use. These oranges also tie in with the rest of my site as well. So I'm just going to click on the rest of my sliders here. So I don't want to keep the same color throughout. So this is another slider with very dark purple. You'll see there's the tiniest hint of the cake being repeated here. So this is an image, but I don't worry about so much that you can see the background image, as long as you can see my main image and that you can read this text, this light text over the dark purple background. And then here's another one for an animation that I had done. And again, I went with a slightly bluer shade of purple. I guess this is indigo, one of my favorite colors actually. And this is still from the animation, but I just tinted it and darkened it. So you kind of get a suggestion that there's an image there, but it's not all about the image being seen. It's more about the suggestion of an image, and more importantly, that the person can read the text over that. So I'm going to just kind of go into my website a little bit just to tell you a bit more about the color choices. So we'll go to my About page. I used an image from my animation, This Too Shall Pass, and because more or less everything is fairly dark to medium, it's okay to have my light text over it. It's fairly legible. It probably could be a bit more, and then it's actually going to do that as I scroll down. But I went in and I made sure that when I was setting up my preferences in my website, that all my link colors also matched this, warm ginger kind of bar up the top here. So that kind of helps reinforce everything. Green is a really great color for putting people at ease, making them feel relaxed. So that's actually a good color choice there as well. And I also, for my call to action, subscribe to newsletter, those are also a dark green. So that works really well with this light green up the top here. You'll notice that my little social media share buttons also tie in with this ginger color up the top. Let's see, where else can I take you? My portfolio page. So this is just a repeat of the what you saw in the slider on the home page, but here I put the actual video instead of a picture, so people can just watch from here if they wanted to. And I think, I really like this slide because I really love the pop between this really bright orange and this blue background. Also, this is one of my favorite pictures, even though you could barely see it. It's a classroom that one of my websites, crowdfunding website, Aura's House, we built for kids in Manila in the Philippines. So you can kind of see them, but again, it's all about it being in the background. So think about background sound and background images the same way. You don't, as much as you like them, they are meant to be in the background. And it's more important that we can read the text over them. So this is another one. So these are just some sliders, veggie propaganda. School meals Liberia. So I usually just pick different colors, and this one I went with a kind of more like an orangey color, so you get the idea. And if we scroll down, I don't remember actually what's down here. Oh, okay, I did the little blurbs again, and then this particular area I have the green again, but then my call to action is a blue, but it's a dark enough blue that we can read the light text over it. Okay, so let's see. Let's do one more page. Let me see. Okay, so here's a page that I created to have for my illustration and design services. And it's actually very, very simple. I originally had a slider gallery up here, but it wasn't working properly. And in the end, I just decided it was kind of a pain, because really I wanted this information to be up the top anyway. And it was, you had to scroll down a bit to find it. So now I've got some images here. Again, my menu is always the same up the top here. Of course, I only see this dark stuff up the top here because I'm logged into my website. So that is not what a visitor would normally see. But anyway, scroll down, and then I have a gallery here that pops up. And when I'm doing any kind of portfolio page, I usually put images on a black or gray background, or white, something neutral, because you want it to be all about your images and not about your background again. So if you think about visiting an art gallery, very rarely would you see a work of art on a plaid or polka dot wall, right? The walls are meant to be in the background. The artwork is what's meant to be front and center. So this is a little gallery that I made, and everything's on the dark gray background. So that's that. And then I actually used the module in Divi to put a price plan. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to keep this yet. I don't know how I feel yet about putting prices on my website. I don't want it to look so markety, salesy, but I'm giving it a try for right now. And I've also kind of played around with my prices a little bit. But again, you see these colors being echoed throughout the website. So I have this little pricing plan, and then I put some blurbs, which again use this this warm light green color, but light enough that you can read the text on top of it. And then finally another call to action. So anyway, that is my current/new, I guess it's still new, website that I'm continually working on. I'm currently optimizing it. But just to give you a better sense of how I choose colors when I'm making my website. And in the end, especially if you're making your own website, it has to speak to you first before it can speak to anyone else. So in the end, I'm actually quite happy with my color choices. It really gives the look and the feel that I want it to. It feels artsy, fun, energetic, but has a trustworthy, professional look to it. At least it does for me. I hope it does for you too. If not, tell me, and I could always use some good constructive feedback. Anyway, thanks for listening. Take care, and good luck with your own designs.